on the shows more. I want to get prepared, stuff like that. I love what you do. So
I
definitely,
appreciate
man,
that.
let me know. And real soon we'll get it started. You feel me? I appreciate your flexibility. All right, hold on. Give me a quick second. Okay, cool, cool. Keep it right there. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Jansen Harris here with the final play in the Just Good Network joining me, and I'm excited today, man. I'm excited today. This is Justin. Justin, what's up, man?
It's such a pleasure to be on here every single day. I always hear Johnson Harris, and I'm just been waiting to get on your show. So it is a pleasure. Absolute pleasure just to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Look, it's a pleasure to be doing and doing some stuff, and hopefully we start working together more because look, your work is great. Love the way you break down the Packers, and I have to ask you, coming into this season, there's a lot of things going on with Aaron Rodgers. Can you talk to me a little bit about his future? Is him signing this new deal? Is he going to be with the Packers after this season? What's going on with the situation, Justin?
I think the deal is basically a one and done deal. I know reality of the situation. Technically, it says that he has a way to get out after 2022, but I don't think it extends past this year. And you can look no further than just the cap hit number alone. I think his cap hit, if he is on the roster for 2022, is like $45 million. There is no team that is going to take that cap hit for any quarterback, to be quite honest. So I think that number alone lets you know what the future is between the two sides. And there have been rumors coming out that the language or the agreement, the handshake agreement between the two sides is that play out the season. And if Aaron Rodgers still wants to leave, which he undoubtedly does, then they will find a trade partner and work to get a trade partner to see him leave Green Bay. The reason why they really pushed for him for this one last season, Johnson, if you look at the construction of the roster, this is still a team built to win right now. You saw the team make back-to-back NFC title games, and a better cornerback other than Kevin King outside of Jair Alexander, and we're possibly talking about the Super Bowl champ. And the way the roster is set up again, it is clear that the Packers are going in all in for this one season, and they're going to blow it right up. So it's not just Aaron Rodgers that's going to be out of town. It's likely going to be Devontae Adams, Zadarius Smith, Preston Smith. The only real holdovers you're going to see are players like David Bakhtiari, and we're going to get into him later in the show, and all-pro running back Aaron Jones. But this is a situation where Brian Gutekunst, the general manager, knew that this team was built to win right now. It can't win with Jordan Love, and we'll get onto that just shortly as well. They wanted Aaron Rodgers back for just one more season, and you're going to see the two sides part ways in 2022.
Great breakdown. Justin, last season, Aaron Rodgers was phenomenal, won the MVP for the third time. He completed 70% of his passes, around 4,300 yards, 48 touchdowns, 5 picks, 121 quarterback rating. Will we see similar numbers to what we've seen last season, despite all the drama that went on? Do you expect the same Aaron Rodgers? As you spoke, you said that this team is built to win now. Obviously, the two NFC title games. Do you see that same success from last year being similar to this season? Let's just talk Aaron Rodgers with his production.
With his production, yes. Will he win MVP again? The history has said probably not. It's very unlikely. Will we see the same production or similar? Yeah. The first thing first, Aaron Rodgers in his 16, 17 years in the NFL has only produced 2 seasons of double-digit interceptions. This guy does not turn over the football. We know this. So from a turnover standpoint, you know he's going to keep it low. That's been his MO throughout his entire career. Will we see like 48 touchdowns to 5 interceptions? Maybe not. But we're going to see a similar touchdown to interception ratio simply because, and we spoke about this off air, the offense that the Green Bay Packers run, and it is so quarterback friendly. And I'll explain and show you over the years because Matt LaFleur's offense is not particular to Green Bay alone. This is an offense that has been, I don't want to say stolen, but taught from none other than Mike Shanahan, the great head coach for Denver Broncos that won Super Bowls with John Elway and Terrell Davis. He passed it down to his son Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, and Matt LaFleur during their time in, I want to say, the the Washington football team. This is an offense that is the run and the pass are married. They're made to look like each other, so you don't know what's coming, and it's predicated on running the football. So I say all of that to say, while a lot of people talk about Aaron Rodgers to Davante Adams as being the staple of the Green Bay offense, that is not true. The run game is what establishes everything in Green Bay right now under Matt LaFleur. Hence why you've seen Aaron Jones with back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons and back-to-back All-Pro seasons or Pro Bowl seasons. And the reads that Aaron Rodgers is asked to make, it is a lot of naked bootlegs, a lot of play-action passes, hence why he led the league in play-action percentage or in play-action touchdowns. This offense is catered for quarterbacks to be so good. And then look outside of Aaron Rodgers. The MVP season your quarterback had in Matt Ryan, that came under Kyle Shanahan. You saw how good Jared Goff was a year under the same Sean McVay. Then it is not a surprise that we saw Ryan Tannehill resurrect his career under Arthur Smith over there in Tennessee. All of these are disciples of Mike Shanahan. So that's a long way of saying this offense is catered towards good quarterback play because it marries running the pass, and you are going to see another MVP caliber season. Not an MVP winning trophy per se, but an MVP caliber season from Aaron Rodgers.
Do you believe Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback in the game? I wanted to ask you that because to me, the way he was acting this offseason, I never even really had a problem with it because he's just acting what he's worth. And he's saying, hey, basically, these are the pieces I want. I was kind of on that train with Aaron Rodgers saying I'm picking him over the organization. Justin, do you get that feel from Aaron Rodgers that he knows who he is? He knows how great he is. Do you feel maybe is it an arrogant thing or is it just like a confidence thing from your perspective, what you're seeing in Green Bay?
I think it's more of look what I have accomplished, because make no mistake, what Tom Brady did in Tampa Bay has really fueled the fire, or stoked the fire for a lot of these veteran quarterbacks. Tom Brady in his first season was given, I don't want to say control, but was allowed certain roster decisions. And here's Aaron Rodgers, 16, 17 years in with the only franchise he's ever played for, being told, we are paying you to play quarterback. That's all we want from you. Shut up and play. And that is not going to sit down well with somebody like Aaron Rodgers. You ask me, is he the best quarterback in the NFL? At the very worst, he's the second best. I'll put Patrick Mahomes right now better than him, and him at 2. Imagine Tom Brady, and I mean, this is the greatest quarterback of all time, so there's no disrespect. But in his first season in a new franchise, was allowed to bring in Antonio Brown. And we know the issues with Antonio Brown off the field. He was able to bring in Rob Gronkowski and make other, suggestions towards the franchise, kind of call his own plays towards the back half of the season. And this sort of respect was not shown to Aaron Rodgers within the organization. And then we know the tell-all press conference that he had in his first day of training camp, where he explained not only was it a lack of control in the organization, but he felt like veterans towards their end in Green Bay weren't shown respect. So he wasn't even alerted when we didn't bring back Jordy Nelson or Randall Cobb, players, Julius Peppers. These people were allowed to leave the room. Micah Hyde, a personal favorite of mine. I love Micah Hyde, and we see what he's doing over there in Buffalo. Casey Hayward, also we saw him become an all-pro cornerback with the Los Angeles Chargers. These veterans were able to, or were allowed to leave without even consulting Aaron Rodgers, and he's like, I am a staple of this organization, and I'm not even being shown the respect where you ask me about roster decisions. I think it is more of a situation where he knows what he's worth, what he's given the organization, and he doesn't think he's getting the same level of respect from Gutekunst and Mark Murphy.
Great breakdown. This is Justin. Go follow him on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. He's going to give you that great information. You spoke about that running game, Justin, how key it's going to be for Green Bay. Aaron Jones, he's 26. It sounds like I'm talking about him like he's old, but you know how things go with running backs. It seems like their careers don't last that long. Is there any concern there, or do you expect him to have another 1,000-yard season? And maybe LaFleur to manage those carries where he's not running the ball too much? What's the game plan for the Packers in that sense?
Will he get a 1,000-yard season? Probably close to. But as I told you before, this is an offense that is predicated on run, and the stat that shows you that. Just look at not only the yardage that the Packers get on the ground, but this team led the league in time of possession last year. So that just tells you that they run the football. In terms of wear and tear, that is nothing that the Packers are going to be concerned with, simply because, again, that Shanahan offense that we've seen over the years employs two backs. And we have a very, very good off back in terms of A.J. Dillon. That's what we drafted 2 off seasons ago, basically knowing full well that Jamal Williams would probably leave in free agency, which he did this season. So you're going to see a split. Like Packers offense has always, or under LaFleur, has always been one where you split carries between the two backs. Yes, Aaron Jones is kind of I don't want to say a bell cow back, but you're not going to have to worry about wear and tear. You have what we call thunder and lightning. Lightning being Aaron Jones because he's a nifty back that's going to break open runs, and the thunder, which is A.J. Dillon. He's a huge guy. They call him the quad father because the size of his quadriceps. He is going to get, I don't want to say the bulk of the carries, but he's going to get a lot of carries. But getting back to Aaron Jones, you're going to see something close to 1,000 yards. And what makes him so great and not having to worry about, the carries that he gets, he is a phenomenal catcher out of the backfield. When you talk about these, you talk about, Christian McCaffrey and Alvin Kamara. I'd put him right behind them, not on the same level, but I'd put him as, in terms of a dual threat running back in this league, I'd put him at number 3 behind those two. And so you're a situation where you can play both him and A.J. Dillon at the same time. And you saw against the Rams in the divisional playoff game, where they had both of them in the backfield together. And to identify what defense that they're in, they're going to split Aaron Jones out wide as like a 5th receiver. And if you leave, that demands that you leave or take out a linebacker out of the front 7 to go and guard him. And that leaves 6 in the box or 7 in the box against a huge back like A.J. Dillon. So sorry to go on rambling. You're going to see another Pro Bowl season out of Aaron Jones because, again, this offense is predicated on the run. We have the best All-Pro left tackle in David Bakhtiari, one of the better left guards in someone like Elton Jenkins. We're just going to run it up that left side all the time. And yeah, another 1,000-yard season from Aaron Jones.
Okay, great stuff, Justin. Also want to say we're presented by Yas Socks, Your Future Media, and the GGC Game Room. Interesting first-round draft pick, Eric Stokes out of Georgia in the first round. I was thinking wide receiver, but maybe I was paying too much attention to the hype in the media, Justin. Break down what you've seen. First of all, how do you feel about Eric Stokes going in the first round? I want to ask you that. Then tell me what you've seen out of him from training camp and practice and what we should expect from him this preseason and the season.
I know that he's one of your guys from University of Georgia, so I know that you know Eric Stokes very well. So let me address the first thing. I knew that we were not going to take a wide receiver in the first round because, again, the wide receiver room right now is loaded. A lot of people forgot that Devin Funchess did not play last season due to COVID-19 concerns, so he returns. Devontae Adams, obviously. Marquez Valdes-Scantling is getting better. And he had an awesome second half after the inconsistency with drops. Allen Lazard was hurt for much of last season, and he's one that we expect to develop. So I think our wide receiver room is loaded, especially with the return of Randall Cobb from the Houston Texans. So I knew that we were going to take a defensive back in the first round. I thought personally it would have been Asante Samuel Jr. I saw his father while he played for the Patriots and the Eagles, and I thought he was absolutely phenomenal. I thought it would have been his son, but it should not have shocked me that we took Eric Stokes, because I think he ran a 4.28 in the combine, if memory serves me correct, being one of the fastest backs out of, or sorry, cornerbacks in this draft. And why that is so important, Johnson, look no further than the NFC title game on 3 of the 4 most decisive plays that lost us that game. Kevin King got burned off the line by Mike Evans, allowed him to get behind him for the first touchdown of the game. The last play of the first half, Scotty Miller again burned Kevin King off the line for a touchdown to end the first half. And then the play that basically decided the game, when we needed to stop, once again, Kevin King got burnt off the line, had to hold the receiver, and that decided the game. That was the last play of the game. So there's no shock, or it should come as no surprise that we went after a burner like Eric Stokes. So now to answer your last question, you asked me what I've seen in training camp so far. I've seen a raw corner. Eventually he's going to get on the field. I don't think he's going to replace Kevin King just yet. I think he will be on in nickel and dime packages as that guy, the slot corner guy. He still has a lot to learn. He's a bit raw. The technique still is not exactly where you want it to be. But what I found so heartwarming in the 2 training camps that I've been to is that you saw all-pro corner Jaire Alexander just taking him through the ropes. You saw the 2 of them, and Jaire took to him quickly. And Eric Stokes has been praising this guy's athleticism. But on the other side, Jaire has also had high praise of Eric Stokes. So you expect to see him on the field eventually, not as a number 2 cornerback, because I think as bad as Kevin King was, he's still going to have that position. But you're going to see him in nickel and dime coverages. And eventually, I think as the year progresses, he's going to get better where he takes over that number 2 cornerback spot eventually.
Great stuff, Justin. Let's transition to Royce Newman. I thought this was an interesting draft pick. Many might not have any information on him. Can you break down him and if you expect him to get on the field this season?
Yeah, I expect him, because the Packers organization has been traditionally one to develop linemen, and they're never been afraid to put linemen in as rookies. We lost Corey Linsley to the Chargers. He started day 1 as a rookie at the center, and as you saw, he developed into a Pro Bowl center. David Bakhtiari, the best left tackle in all of football, we threw him in there in that position from day 1. So I expect Royce Newman to get playing time. Will he start? That all depends on the health of David Bakhtiari this season. It is expected that he will miss probably the first 2 games of the season. So we're going to push Elton Jenkins, 3rd-year left guard, out to that spot at left tackle. So that leaves a spot there at left guard where Elton Jenkins has man. And that is Royce Newman's specialty position. The only thing is I don't expect him to start, because we're going to start a rookie center to replace Corey Linsley, who left in free agency, in Josh Myers, the 2nd-round pick out of Ohio State. So as I told you, this is a team that is built to win right now. So I'm not sure the Packers will be comfortable playing 2 rookies right next to each other on a team that has to get wins to make sure to get a bite in the first round. So I'm not sure that Royce is going to start immediately next to Josh Myers at left guard. But we all know if there are players who are going to get injured, it's typically offensive linemen. And what the Packers tend to like are versatile players along that line. And Royce Newman is a guy who can play both left guard and right tackle. So as the season progresses, depending on whether David Bakhtiari comes back quickly or not, you're going to see Royce Newman come in certain packages. You're going to see him spell guys who may, go down quickly. And who's to know? He may very well start at that left guard position.
Great breakdown, Justin. Preseason's tonight. Doesn't it start tonight? Preseason games, well, technically they had the Hall of Fame game, but preseason games on tonight, preseason games on tomorrow. People are just happy football is back. Justin, it was a great interview. We need to do this more often. We'll talk off air, but I'm excited. I was excited for this interview. Guys, go follow Justin. This is Justin's Sports Show on YouTube. Check that out. Go subscribe to him. They're changing the culture one day at a time. I love that, man. Go follow him on Instagram, Twitter. You'll learn some things. He's educating people. He's bringing people on the show that are important. Thank you, man, for joining me. Great show. Great takes.
Man, I am so pleased. So it's a huge pleasure to come on here. I saw especially great work y'all are doing with your Falcons podcast. So whenever you need me on there, you can just give me a shout because I have some beliefs. I have a belief that you are going to see Matt Ryan return to close to MVP caliber season under Arthur Smith simply because of that offense I spoke about. But you're doing an awesome job over there with the Just Good Network and also with that Falcons podcast that y'all guys have.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate that. And look, all week we got to get together because love what you're doing and loved how you came on the show and did what you had to do. We're definitely going to link up and do more shows together. This was presented by Your Future Media, also presented by Yas Socks, and also the GGC Game Room. Thank you, Justin.